This lesson is over order of operations. So before we do that, let's look at our how do you know. 2 cubed times 3 squared is equal or equivalent to 72. 2 cubed, that's 2 to the power of 3 times 3 squared or 3 to the power of 2. So this is an exponent. The base is 2. That means this factor of 2 is repeating itself 3 times. The base is 3. The exponent is 2. That means this factor is repeating itself twice. So what's 2 times 2 times 2? 8. What's 3 times 3? 9. 8 times 9 is 72. So this is correct. So let's look at our do now, or warm up. The keyboard of a piano has 88 keys. Generate an equivalent prime factorization of 88. Well, 88 prime factorization is, can you break this down into prime factors? Well, it can be broken into 8 times 11. And I know 11 is a prime number because I cannot break it down into any other two more factors. 8 is 4 times 2. Did you know some kids will say 8 is 4 times 4? Please do not be that kid because we're multiplying. 2 is a prime factor. 4 is 2 times 2. These 2's are prime factors. So what prime factors make up 88? 2 times 2 times 2 times 11. Could I write this using exponents? 2 cubed times 11. So there are two types of calculators in the world. There are simple calculators, and there are more like scientific or graphing calculators. If you use a simple calculator, it will give you one value, but if you use a scientific or graphing calculator, it will give you a different value. For example, in this one, this would give you 27 using a simple calculator, while the graphing calculator would give you 13. But I thought a calculator gives you the correct answer no matter what you put inside. A simple calculator, for this one, we could give the answer as 12. But a graphing calculator will say the answer here is 17. And for this one, a simple calculator would say the answer is 44, while a scientific or graphing calculator would say the answer is 17 again. So are the values different? If so, why? Well, we're going to be learning something called order of operations. The graphing calculator value are correct. We will come back to this to show why. There are so many ways to solve an expression. So long ago, people agreed to follow rules when doing calculation. If you calculate them in the wrong order, you will get a wrong answer. So the way you do order operations, some of you may have heard it through PEMDAS or something like that. We do not teach that. That's a trick. So we would teach it mathematically. What you do is you circle or highlight any addition and subtraction operators that are not in the grouping symbols, such as parentheses, bracket, or these. Then you solve for the terms. So what does that mean? For example, in this problem of 7 plus 2 times 3, this is the expression. Let me get out my highlighter. You highlight the operators of addition and subtraction. So I highlight this. So the first term on the left side is 7, and the term on the right hand side is 2 times 3. So we separated the terms, the first term and the second term. Now you solve it. So 7, can I do anything to this term? No, it's just 7, so I leave it as 7. But what is 2 times 3 equivalent to? 6. So you add the left term to the right term and you get 13. Here's another example of another expression. Let's separate the terms from the addition and subtraction operators. So here's an operator, highlight, highlight, highlight. Here's another operator, highlight, highlight, highlight. So the terms, this is the first term, the second term, and the third term. So first term is 75 divided by 3. The middle term is 7 minus 3. Then you square that. Then the last term is 1. So if you solve the first term, you get 25. If you solve the middle term, 7 minus 3 is 4. And what is 4 to the exponent of 2? 4 times 4 is 16. And then the last term is just 1. So 25 minus 16 is 9, minus 1 is 8. So let's practice some of these. Highlight or circle the operators, the addition and subtraction operators. So let's get out a pencil. Pen. So the first term is just, goodness gracious. Let's get out a highlighter again. So the first term is 25. Can I do anything to that? No. The middle term is 14. Can I do anything to that? No. The third term is 3. Can I do anything to that? So what is 25 minus 14? 11. 3 more is 14. So the value of this is 14. All right, let's do the next example. Let's get out the highlighter, green. Let's highlight the addition and subtraction operators. Now let's get my calligraphy pen. The left term is 42. 42 is 42. The right term, or the second term, is 6 divided by 2. What is 6 divided by 2 equivalent to? 3. So the left side is 42, the right side is 3. The operator says we need to add these two terms together, so the answer is 45. Without doing order of operations, kids would add these two up first, then divide by 2. So let's go back and look at our example here. I'm going to highlight, using my highlighter, I'm going to highlight all of my addition and subtraction operators. Now using my calligraphy pen, the left term is 7. The right term is 2 times 3, which is 6. If you add these two terms together, 13. Graphing calculator wins. The left term is 10. The right term is 7. If you add up these two operators, it's 17. The scientific or graphing calculator win again. I mean, of course, it's going to be a dollar store calculator. The left term is 3 times 3, which is 9. The right term is 2 times 4, which is 8. If you add these two up together, you get 17. Correct. Again. The left term is 80. The right term is 32. If you subtract 80 minus 32, you get 48. Graphing calculator wins again. Because if you had used a simple calculator, they would have subtracted 80 minus 8, then times 4. The left term is 45. The right term is 4. If you subtract these two terms, you get 41. And the left term is equivalent to 5. The right term is equivalent to 8. If you add up these two, you get 13. So it does work. So let's practice some more. Using my my highlighter, I'm going to highlight any addition, subtraction, addition, subtraction, addition, subtraction, and addition, subtraction. Alrighty. So let's get my calligraphy pen. The left side, 39 times. What's inside this parentheses, these grouping symbol? 39 times this. 39 times 5 is on the left side. And what is 39 times 5? I'm not really sure. 45 carry 4, 195. Then the right term is 16. They would like you to subtract 16 from 195. If you subtract that, you get a 9 here. This becomes regrouped, that becomes an 8. And that's a 7. And then 1. So it's 179. Next one. The left term is equivalent to 6. The right term is 5 groups of 7 minus 2 is 5. What is 5 groups of 5 equivalent to? 25. So the left term is equivalent to 6. The right term is equivalent to 25. If you add this up, you get 31. The left term is 7 squared. What is equivalent to 7 squared? 49. The right term is 12. What do they want you to do with these two terms? Add them up. So you get 61. The left term is 34. The right term, 8 squared. That's 8 times 8 divided by 4. 8 times 8 is 64. 64 divided by 4 is 16. So the left term is 34. The right term is 16. If you subtract 16 from 34, if you take 16 away from 34, regroup, that's a 2. This is a 14. So it's 18 is the answer. And let's practice we're going to do this one last question. So let's highlighter. So the left term is 4 groups of what? In the parenthesis, what is 5 squared? That's 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And 25 minus 12 is 13. So what is 4 groups of 13? 52. 52 take away 6 is 48. So Mrs. Pink wrote the following expression on the board. Look at my highlighter. She realized she forgot to include a parentheses. If Mrs. Pink knows that the value is supposed to be 30, where should she place the parentheses? Well, let's highlight the operators. Highlight. So let's see. Right now, you have 11 minus 6. The first term is 3. The middle term will be 11 minus 5 is 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then plus 24. Oh, I forgot to highlight this. So I kind of already answered it by accident. You would need to put a parentheses surrounding this. So you don't need to highlight this. So 3 is the left term. The middle term would be this. That's equivalent to 3. The last term would be 24, so that equals 30. Because if I highlight this, you really can't do 5 divided by 2. That's 2.5. So you have gotten a decimal. So I know that would have been wrong. And there's Peyton and Mackenzie. Who is correct? Let me get out my highlighter. So the left term, this is the left term. So on the left term, they left it as 3, 3, 3. They solved the right term. 4 groups of 5 is 20, 23. I think Peyton did a great job. Let's see, that's a check mark. Let's see what Mackenzie, so she combined the two terms together right here. 3 plus 4 is 7. And then, no, she did not have a first term and a second term. And so our next activity is using these cards. You're going to be solving for these, highlighting the terms, highlighting the operators of separating the left term or the first term from the right term. Could you find a matching answer to it. So this is order operation. Order operation, you are highlighting or circling the operators of addition and subtraction. Then you solve, that's how you break it into terms. Maybe there's two terms, a left side and a right side, first term and second term. Or maybe there are three terms, first, middle, last. Then you solve it. Order operations.